when we're children, we don't really understand a lot. Maybe it's because our
Yeah,
prefrontal cortex is not developed yet. We thinking our parents
yeah.
are trying to make our life difficult. And I used to think that a lot in my childhood, um,
Okay.
especially with like not being able to go out. But because of the environment I was in the area I was in, my dad didn't allow me to go out. And I was always like,
Oh,
other guys are going out, other boys are going out, chilling with their friends, and why am I not allowed to go
yeah.
out? But now, as I'm older,
Come on.
I
Yeah, bro.
see why he didn't allow me to do that. I see the intention behind it. You know, that's where
Yeah,
emotional intelligence comes in, and I think it kicks in later on in life that someone is doing something, but you look at
yeah.
why they're doing it. And in my childhood, I couldn't see. All I just think is that you're making my life difficult. You're not helping me
Mm.
out here. I'm not allowed to go out.
Yeah,
There was friction in the house also, as there is in Asian
yeah.
households,
Yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah,
normal.
yeah.
And I was just like, why is this happening? Like, I
Mm.
don't I deserve to, have a friendship, go out and this kind of stuff.
Mm.
And but Alhamdulillah, my parents were always there. I
Yeah.
didn't back then. I didn't think my dad was always there, but
Yeah.
as we've catched up, I've told you about when I've gone into manhood. I realized that what priorities are. That
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of had this feeling in my younger age that he abandoned me. But now,
Yeah.
when I'm in my manhood and I'm looking at the fact that I'm praying my 5 prayers, I'm doing giving my
Alhamdulillah.
charity, the first the first thing that comes in my mind when I go through a struggle is Ya Allah. And my parents implanted that into me. How have
Yeah.
they abandoned me? They've given me everything I need. So this kind of
Subhanallah. Allahu
subconscious
Akbar.
feeling that they abandoned me was
Yeah.
just something that I attached to kind of feel like a victim or kind of make myself feel a bit validate my feelings myself. But now, as
Yeah.
I've gotten older, I'm like, you did not abandon me because a parent who teaches you about Allah, a parent who
Mm.
teaches you about Islam, has not abandoned you. Because what are we
Yeah,
here
yeah.
for? To love Allah, to worship Allah. They have not
Bro,
abandoned you. They-
can, can I sort of backtrack on what you've just said there? Because that's really, really interesting. Because I was brought up from a similar situation where my parents didn't allow me to go out. But I had the opposite
Hmm.
reaction. Because what I done is I used to sneak out a lot. Because of that, I always used to see the kids from my window playing outside, having fun, and I was thinking, no, that's not fair. Look, the sun's out, the kids are just playing. I want to go out there with my friends, and I would sneak out,
Yeah.
and then later on get my ass whooped. But at that time, you're so right because I thought to myself, you know, it's so unfair the way that I've been treated, da, 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 da. And I didn't understand, like exactly what you've just said. We didn't understand the hikmah at that time, bro. So
Yeah.
what I want to ask you is, bro. So when you said that they didn't allow you to go out, what did that look like? So I'll give you an example. My situation was like that. I'll come back from school, have the I think it'd be lunch or late lunch at that time, and then we'll get do some homework, and then by that time get put to sleep. And that was really, really early. We're talking about like 6 or 7 o'clock. That'll be in bed back in those days, bro. You know,
Yeah.
what was it like for you, bro? Like, was it a similar thing or?
So it was like when I wanted to make certain friends, my dad would always question me, who's your friend? What
Yeah.
does he do? What are you going to be doing? And all these questions
Ah.
really used to bother me. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just, and I guess it's because I was the eldest child.
Okay.
We kind of were like, not in a disrespectful way, but we're kind of like the guinea pigs where the parents have to kind of
Mm.
test things out on us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, going back to, when you mature and you get more closer to Allah, you kind of see that as an honor that your parents
Yeah.
have you, when your parents use you or like they're trying to, if they get ease from you, that's actually Allah honoring you, even though it might hurt you in that moment. But Allah
Yeah.
has chosen you for your parents to kind of use you in a way because your other siblings could not do it. If you deep it, that Allah has chosen you to be that guinea pig, it
Yeah.
it makes you feel a certain awe. I couldn't see that before. I just think, why me? Why are you choosing me? Why you this and that? But as you
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
closer to your deen, you see everything as it's an honor.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't allowed to be around certain
Yeah.
people, certain, you know, he's like, you need to stay from this person, stay away from that person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe it was a bit of overprotection. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's the intention. You have to look at the intention. And now I see the intention.
Bro, but when you was growing up, what was your reaction to that? Did you rebel or did you challenge them? Did you like,
Yeah,
or did you
I
just,
rebelled.
yeah, yeah, go on, bro.
I used
Sorry,
to,
you were
I
saying,
didn't rebel as in run away. I just used to
yeah, yeah,
question them. I used to get annoyed. I used to get, frustrated. I used to,
yeah,
I don't know if I took it out on myself, but I wasn't happy with it. I never understood it. I wasn't a disrespectful child at all, but I wasn't
yeah,
happy with it at all. I used to keep it within myself. I used to resent, yes, I used to resent them within myself. I
yeah.
used to resent them within myself that you're not allowing me to live the life that I want to live.
Okay, and
So it is
bro,
that, and I think that's the highest.
you're the eldest of X amount brothers of sisters. So yeah, how many of you
Mashallah,
are there, bro? Sorry.
three brothers, three
Oh,
three
mashallah.
brothers and one sister.
Oh, mashallah, mashallah. Wow. And bro, so now moving on from the young childhood, what was it like growing up as a teenager then, bro? Did you face a lot of peer pressures in terms of identity, just group dynamics,
Yeah,
peer
definitely.
pressure? What was that like for you, bro?
I think because of the same things that I was going through in my personal life, when I went
Yeah.
into secondary school, I was just trying to fit in. I was
Okay.
seeking that validation. I was seeking that kind of, be around me, let me be in your corner, let me be in your group, and I would like just accept anything. They would bully me, they would call me names, and I just smile,
Yeah.
just smile. I wouldn't talk back to them because I wanted to feel like I belonged.
Okay.
And
I
sometimes they would,
understand.
the word wagging. We used to wag lessons. We used to go chippy. We used to go jump over the
Yeah. Yeah.
fences,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was me feeling like I belonged. This is my group, even though they were good for me, as my dad is saying, and I
Yeah.
acknowledge that these people are not good for me. They're not
Yeah.
doing or speaking the way or being the way I want to be as a person, but I feel complete here. I feel like I belong. So I stuck there.
You know, bro, I was gonna say, when you was going through those things, was there a moment that you can turn to your dad and say, "Look, Dad, I'm going through this. I need your help," or like, um, was it
Mm,
ever that type of
it,
relationship, or
no, Asian households were very emotionally unavailable kind of thing.
yeah,
And obviously
yeah,
he was going through his own things. And for me, it was just like I'm the eldest son.
yeah,
I kind of had to handle their relationship. I kind of had to handle myself, and I
yeah,
felt kind of I, I couldn't speak to him because I am the eldest. I need to handle it, and maybe
yeah,
that's the thing I took forward into my manhood that I'm the man. I need to handle it, and maybe I think that's what we all do as men.
yeah,
We like
bro.
I'm gonna handle it. I'm taking care of it. I'm not gonna show you any weakness. I'm not gonna, because if I show you it, then what's gonna happen to you? You know what I mean?
Wow, bro. See, that's really interesting that you've said that because you know what? A lot of fathers and brothers that I've spoken to is that even to their adolescents, that is how they're going about things. It's a lone wolf type of mentality. I don't need help. I can figure out for myself, and they just prod along. But it
Hmm.
always catches up at some point, bro. It always catches up with them. They break down
Yeah.
eventually, and then some of them turn to extreme means of drug abuse, addiction. Some like seek out for help. But yeah, uh, 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 so circling back to what you were saying, bro. Early manhood, you was trying to figure things out, and then you was trying to do things a lot by yourself. So, what kind of identity did you have during those times, brother, in the early manhood, just growing up? How did you see yourself as?
I was struggling a lot. Had
Yeah,
self-doubt. I had low self-esteem. I had no confidence. Anybody
yeah,
used to say the littlest thing to me, I used to get upset.
yeah,
I was very sensitive, when I was expressing myself, I would start crying. I
yeah.
didn't, because I only started praying, I think, when I was about 15 or something, 14, 15. Just
Ah,
out of the
okay,
blue.
okay,
My dad said to me once,
yeah,
um, that because, like I said, he put me on the Indian. So he said to me, Ali, just do your first. Because I was standing there doing my 4, 4, 2, 2, and I was thinking, this is a chore. This is so long. I'm not getting anything from this. And I used to like when my mom was looking, I used to sit on the sofa and pretend I'm
Yeah,
praying. When she came in the room, I used to jump back on the prayer mat. So it was that kind of relationship, even with the prayer. But then my dad said to me, just do your fard's, get your fard's out of the way. That's what
yeah,
Allah wants from you. He wants your four fard's. And once I started getting onto that,
yeah,
surprisingly, also more difficulties came in my life. So I was kind of like, because you know, you don't have that clarity when you first
yeah,
jump onto prayer. When you're thinking everything's gonna become good, but everything flipped 360, and I was just battling with like I've just started praying, and
yeah,
everything's going worse. I'm feeling worse. My family state problems getting worse. What's happening? So I was going through that crisis, as in what's going on with this, and I think a lot of people do when they start praying. They're like everything's gonna go up, but it actually goes down. But that's your
yeah.
test.
Yeah, that is the test. Yeah, and bro, that's kind of profound because I'm gonna get back to that point in praying here because there's I want to hear more of how your story unfolds there, and I'm gonna tie it back to this thing that you said about praying. That's profound, especially at that age, because that's so beautiful that your father said, "Look, just pray," and it's like
Mm,
him laying down that foundation. And the thing is this, you might not even understand it right now. You've just been told what to do. It only deepens
yeah.
if you stay at it and you're consistent at it. Then you start seeing things in a different way. You start, putting the puzzles together of life, about the tests, the challenges, and your faith. If you stay consistent at it, you will see those things, and that's profound. So you did you was that the only place or the only thing that you can turn to when life was getting tough? All you knew was how to pray, or were there other things, bro?
Then when I started praying, and then I turned to poetry. I started writing poetry when I
Ah,
was
okay.
about 16ish. I
Yeah,
started writing poetry, and I just at that moment I was just expressing myself. I was just talking nonsense about loads of stuff, and I was just getting my thoughts out on the page. But then
yeah,
eventually I got to 17. I started writing more deep poetry. I started talking about my life and people's experiences, and then Alhamdulillah, in 2021, I think it was 2021 or
yeah,
2017, I published my book. Sorry, I was
yeah,
21 and it was 2017, and I
yeah.
published my first book, my first poetry book. And that, when I published that book, bro, it was like, it made sense why I went through what I went through. If I
Wow.
did not go through the struggles I went through, that book would not even be on Amazon right now. It would not be there because that all that has come from the wisdom of Allah's plan.
Bro, did your book have a link to your dean? Did you like tie it in, or
Yeah,
was it just
there's a
abstract?
Yeah, it's written from an Islamic perspective. Everything I've learned through it. So it's like there's a family section,
Yeah,
there's a reality of the world section, there's a thinking outside of the box section, and there's a intimate one with my connection with Allah. It's called spirituality. And then at the end, there's like I think 10 pages where it's like any future writers where they feel that they want to write. I've got like 10
yeah.
pages for them. But it was a lot about my connection with Allah and the things I've learned growing up and bringing Islam into it and how it helped me. Because that book was about hope. And inshallah, if there is a chance for me to book in the future, it'll be about growth. So it's like
Yeah.
people will read the first book and be like, okay, he went through this, we dealt it with this. And they'll read the second book and they'll be like, okay, now he's on this trajectory. So it's going to show them that the hope is there. Most importantly, that Allah is there. Because I'm not taking any praise from myself from that. I'm saying it
Yeah.
all happened. Any good that came out of it is because of
Yeah.
Allah. But He placed me in situations that I didn't understand, but they were still blessings. So I'm trying to show people that even the
Bro,
negative is a positive.
yeah.
Is a positive.
Bro, I want to ask you a question about that. See, when you was writing, was that like therapeutic? Was that like a type of outlet that you was able to express your thoughts
Yeah,
and just run with the ideas, run with whatever flowed through your mind? Was it like some kind of training therapy that you did on yourself?
yeah. I mean, my dad did poetry when he was younger, and he got me listening to. He didn't get me listening to, but he gave me the first two-pack All Eyes on Me album when I was 9 years old, and I
Yeah,
used to play that when I was on the Xbox Mintown Badness. I used to play that with two-pack songs in the
yeah,
background.
Yeah.
and he became my favorite artist, and I just started looking into his life and how he did poetry, and I think I got a bit of my thing from there too, and it was very
Bro,
therapeutic, like the way he used to express himself.
do you know, bro, I find this so fascinating. It's like this, do you know, the era that we're from is our fathers weren't really in tuned emotionally, but they done a lot of things for us
Mm,
physically, even indirectly. I want to sort of sidetrack and bring back in what you were saying, bro. Yeah? When I was growing up, so all saw my dad was just doing some DIY around the home, fixing things, building, etc., repairing and whatnot. Yeah, my dad didn't teach me things directly, but it's more like an indirect sort of thing. It's only until he passed away, bro, I had realized what he had left behind for me, and it was just his toolbox. And ever since that day, I've been picking up the tools, building things around the home, doing some DIY things. And reason why I'm narrating this to you is because what you said, what your dad done for you, is this. It's like we can ask our fathers verbally, but and they might not have the skills to just answer our questions or have that kind of, let's call it, emotional intelligence at that time, but they just gave us tools.
mm,
And when you said that your dad was into poetry and he gave you the foundation for Dean, that's profound how you progressed that. And those two things, I'm sure as this podcast goes along, will set you up for life, because you're going to apply them in so many different areas of your life. You know what I mean? So that's what I thought.
that's
I found that fascinating, bro. I found that fascinating what you just said there.
exactly.
You know?
Exactly, bro. Like it's if you when you get close to your deen and you realize, okay, what's my purpose? Allah says, I didn't create you but to worship me.
Yeah,
Anything going wrong in your life, all you gotta do is go back to that. Your purpose is to
yeah,
worship me. But if that foundation wasn't there from my mom and my dad, I would when something's going wrong, I'd be like, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? All I do is like
yeah,
just turn to him. And when you remember that and you think that, okay, I'm returning to him, and that's everything. So my parents have actually given me everything. So what am I
yeah,
complaining about? Where's that resentment coming from? They didn't give me clothes. They didn't give me take me on to trips. They didn't give me all the the goodies, the toys. Even though they did what they can, but the main thing they're giving you is your deen.
yeah.
You're indebted to them for your entire life. You give them everything. You still be indebted to them, in debt to them because they've given you your deen. That's everything you need.
Bro, see, that's I want to touch upon that, yeah, of what you just said in terms of like what the parents give. There was there's this story that I want to quickly mention here on the podcast, yeah, and it goes something like this. I've got one of my friends when he was growing up, bro, yeah, when he was small, he told me this profound thing. He goes, bro, my dad, my parents, they taught me just how to recite the Surah Fatiha. And at that time, they didn't actually understand the weight of it. And that's all he knew, bro, Surah Fatiha. And later on in life, when he grew up, he goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I have been guided all this time by reciting that dua through and through childhood, all the way to his adulthood. What Allah has done for
So
him
look at that.
just
Look at that.
through
Look at that.
reciting that. Look at that, bro. He's been guided, and yeah, don't get me wrong, that he's been off the track, and then he came on. So it's been like this rather than like that. But that surah has been a guidance for him throughout his life, bro, even to this day. And that's fascinating that you've mentioned the importance of what how significant the parents play in our life. Because, bro, check this, right? There's some fathers that I've been talking to, and they're very resentful about their parents. They're very resentful about, like what you've mentioned. Look, you can either see it as a blessing or you can see them as a curse, and a lot of them
Hmm.
see it as a curse because there's a lot of resentment. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of things that they wish that their parents had done for them. But that's so interesting the way that you're looking at things. You're not coming from a place of resentment. You're actually coming from a place of, you know what, I've been blessed that they have done the best that they could within their capability. So that's a very, very interesting perspective because, bro, when we carry resentment from our upbringing, we actually bring that into our future relationships, whether it be in marriage, whether it be the connection between
Yes, we
our
do.
children. It's so detrimental, bro. And what's amazing about what you just said, it's like as if you was doing some healing whilst you was growing up through your poetry, through your deen. Yeah, sorry, bro. Sorry, just like went off the tangent, bro. Just yeah, go on, bro.
That's
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
go on.
this perspective has only come in the last 2 years, and I'm 30 years old. So this has
Okay.
only come in the last 1 or 2 years. So even before that, like I said, I was doing the inner work healing, but I was still
Yeah.
holding that resentment. Even when I got married, that resentment was there. When it all broke down and I was on my own
Yeah.
and I could only turn to Allah,
Yeah.
that's when I started seeing things clearly.
Ah, okay, okay. Sometimes that bubble just has to be popped, isn't it, bro? It's just a matter of time. Bro, tell me a bit
Yeah.
about that. Let's fast track. So at what age did you get married?
26.
26. Okay, so what was your marriage arranged or was it? Did you meet each other through
It was
place or
arranged.
something? Or
It
oh,
was
arranged
arranged.
in that.
It was
Ah, okay.
arranged. Yeah.
Ah, okay. And so have you? You've mentioned that you've got one boy, one girl, or sorry, two girls, one boy, isn't
Just
it?
one boy.
Oh, one boy. Sorry,
No,
my
one
bad,
boy,
bro.
one boy. Just one boy. Yeah,
I'm thinking I was talking to someone else.
one
Sorry,
boy.
bro. Just okay. So, and his age is what's his age at the moment?
2.5.
2.5. What's that like being a parent, bro? Have you found fatherhood?
I mean, I've been in and out of his life because of situation, family court, and that because of the
Yeah,
separation.
yeah,
And I'm currently seeing him in a contact center. So it's tough because
yeah,
I still don't. I'm very harsh on myself, especially sometimes when I'm with him. Like I doubt myself a lot, my capabilities, even though when he's with me, he's happy. But
yeah,
sometimes when I can't control him or when I can't guide him, even though he's young, but because
yeah,
I'm that kind of father where I want to teach my kids from young because I don't know, I might not be here tomorrow, and I'm trying to reach them as quick as I can, plant whatever seeds I can,
yeah,
and I take that out of myself that I'm not a good parent because I can't reach him, but I need to give myself grace as the fact that he's only 2.5 years old, but
yeah,
because I'm in such a rush for some reason.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm in a rush. I just want to get these seeds out there. This is why I'm on this podcast, bro. I could be
Yeah, yeah,
home
yeah,
right now, chilling, but
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to get these seeds out there because you don't know what Allah's got planned for you tomorrow. You don't know how long your life is. So you got to get these seeds out there. You got to help the next
Absolutely,
generation. And
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
my son is 2.5 years old right now,
Yeah,
but anything happens to me in a few years' time, whatever, he's going to listen to this podcast and be like,
yeah.
this is who my dad was. So
That's it.
it's tough because I'm in and out of his life,
Yeah.
and yeah, I do doubt myself a lot in terms of that. But alhamdulillah,
Bro,
he's healed me too. When I see him, he heals me.
bro, can I ask you something about that? How are you managing to deal with the internal dialogue when you're in that particular situation? Because that's painful, not being able to see your son or be with your son frequently. So, what's your coping mechanisms like day by day, bro? What does that look like?
Uh, you know what? I remind myself
Yeah.
because
How
we're
do you
going
keep
through
going?
family court, and I'd remind myself that he doesn't belong to
Yeah.
me. I remind
Ah,
myself that he's a
okay.
means to Allah,
Yeah.
and Allah doesn't want me to break down or be negative right now. and
Wow.
and Allah is He's protector. When I was worrying about him that he's without me, he's not got his father around him.
Yeah.
One of Allah's names is Al Hafiz, the protector. Allah is gonna take care of him. Allah can take care of him way better than me. But I
Yeah.
had to trust that name that He's gonna take. So these are my coping mechanisms. He doesn't belong to me. He belongs to Allah, and I just have a responsibility to do my job as a father.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It is tough. I mean, especially being without him and obviously going through betrayal and heartbreak. It's tough.
Yeah.
I still don't know how I'm still here, how I'm
Yeah.
still going, how I am. But Allah's great. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. All
Yeah.
power belongs and strength belongs to Him, and He gives you that. I'm just sharing what I know, and He's giving me that strength to kind of share with others that He's there. You become an example, and I think that's another coping mechanism, as in
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know the devil is the enemy. They're either thinking the parent is the enemy, they're thinking family
Yeah.
court is the enemy, they're thinking the system is the enemy, the devil is the enemy pulling the strings. And if when you know your enemy wants to keep you down, you're gonna get up. The problem is you don't know your enemy's plan. When you know his plan, you're gonna get back up. And that's my kind of thing. I know his plan. I'm getting back up. I'm on
Bro,
Allah's team. I'm not on the devil's team. Allah wants me to get back up. I'm getting back up.
Bro, that's such an interesting perspective because what you just highlighted is totally the opposite of what I've heard from a lot of brothers. It's easy to blame things from the outside. It's parenting, it's the courts, it's the government. There's this, but that's really interesting because you're tackling the situation from within. That it sounds like
Mm.
okay. So what's happening internally? What are the conversations that I'm having internally? What is it that I'm trying to understand? What's happening to me, bro? I want to ask you something about that, actually, bro. You know, when you're going through those dark moments, when you feel like giving up, when you're doubting yourself, how do you pull yourself back up during those times, bro? You know, there's times when you're feeling strong that you're reciting X, Y, Z, or you're doing certain acts to strengthen your iman. But what about the dark moments? What does that look like for you, bro? What the internal conversations? What's going on inside Ali's head?
I mean, recently I started to learn more about Allah's names, and I'm not gonna be like I'm not even over exaggerating, but I don't have
Yeah,
them
yeah.
dark moments anymore because I've
Alhamdulillah.
understood his names and what they mean. Al
Yeah,
Qareeb,
yeah,
he's close to you. Uh, um, his other names that read Al Fatah, he opens the doors.
yeah.
Why am I stressing when he's the one who can open the door for me?
Wait, bro,
So these little things, these names, they're
hold
empowering.
that, hold that thought for a second. How did you even get to that stage, bro? Because from being in a place of doubt to there, like what happened between that phase there, bro? What stopped you from being in a place where that you're just doubting, you're victimizing yourself to a place where you know what, I don't allow myself to get back there again. Like what did you have to do to get from there to there, bro?
Honestly, I don't know, but every Ramadan I try to improve myself as a person. And I just think that when Allah says that when you come walking to me, I'll come running to you, the way I saw it is that the closer you get to me, the more I'm going to make you more aware and give you more clarity of your surroundings. And in Ramadan, I really pushed myself. And Dhul Hijjah, I made intention to learn more of his names. And since I learned his names, bro, I don't know all of them by heart and I may make mistakes, but I know deep inside what they mean and I trust them. When you trust them names, that your peace, look, your peace comes
Yeah,
from Allah. Your true
yeah,
friendship comes from Allah. Your rizq comes
yeah.
from Allah. And when you die, you're going back to your beloved. So what can someone possibly do to harm you when you are relying on Him and He's everlasting? What can someone possibly do to hurt
They
you,
can't
to harm
nothing,
you, when
nothing, bro.
all your source of everything comes from Him and He's ever living, He's everlasting, He's always going to be there? What can you possibly do? You can okay, put more allegations on me, you can take more money from me, you can take my son away from me. I'm going back to Allah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro,
You don't want to talk to me, you misunderstand me. He understands me, he hears me, he listens to me, he's hearing me.
bro. So
So
what I'm hearing
yes.
is to just not give up, and by not giving up is just to make that continued effort. Stay consistent. That is the only way to just come out of the situation, isn't it, bro? I guess.
It's like when you know your purpose on this world, bro, you will get up. And on top of that,
Yeah,
when you know who the real enemy is,
yeah,
Allah says in the Quran that he's your enemy, so look at him as your enemy. When you know someone is your enemy, are you going to give them the satisfaction of seeing you weak?
bro.
You're not going to give
Okay,
them
so,
that satisfaction of seeing you weak.
see what you've just said there. You've highlighted something that is quite important. That I've heard many fathers fail at this point when you've talked about purpose, because, bro, sometimes you can actually get lost in this test. You lose your identity, you lose your center, you lose your purpose, bro. And I guess through those types of challenges, you're all over the place. You're reckless. You're confused. You're doubtful.
Hmm.
Um, but the question is, how do you even get to that place of purpose? Does it go back to making that effort again, or was that a seed that got implanted in you during your childhood from pups? Would you say, Rob? Or
I mean, like definitely. I mean, the foundation is there. If it wasn't for my mother and my father doing
yeah,
that, for planting it, because the foundation, if the foundation is not there, everything you build on top of that is going to come crumbling down. So
yeah,
it's the first things my parents, but
okay,
everything on top of that, it comes with more and more. You see, you're seeking knowledge, you're looking for it. Rumi said, "What you
yeah,
seek is seeking you. If you're looking for it, you're going to find it." When you open the
yeah,
Quran and you're looking for something and you're reading it with reflection, you're gonna find it. Allah will open your heart to it. Because Allah said it's not the eyes that are blind, it's the hearts that are blind. I've got good vision right now, but if I turn
yeah,
this light off, I can't see anything. I can't see it. It's not the eyes, it's not the eye, it's the light. Allah gives your heart light, and you start seeing things differently. It's like I said on the catch up, that catchphrase when you get the right question and it goes, that catchphrase
yeah,
goes, and the other one goes,
yeah,
and then you can see the picture clearly. You
yeah.
do more good deeds, Allah will open that. Okay, do another good deed, Allah will open that. Remove a sin, Allah will
Ah,
open that. You're like, okay, now I see the picture. Now I see it.
right, right, right. Bro, you've actually answered my next question that I was going to ask you. Like, how does the heart open up? But yeah, you just said it all. It's like those light bulb moments. You need to ask the right question. Do you also need to be in the path of searching as well, bro? Not just like sitting there and just like,
Yeah, you
yeah,
have to,
go on,
yeah.
bro.
You have to
Right.
search. I mean,
Yeah.
if I wasn't searching, or if I wasn't, and it's also about taking accountability. You got to look at
Yeah.
your flaws and your sins, and you got to have that balance of hope, but also fear and Allah. Because when you
Yeah.
have that fear, I heard it on a video one day that if you see your health going down, your finances going down, and everything else going down, just ask Allah for forgiveness and Allah will open the heavens for you or something like that. And I'm just deep in that.
Yeah.
Why, when I ask for forgiveness, Allah will open it? It's because you are, for me, it's like I acknowledge that you're the one who's going to forgive me. And when you forgive me, you're going to bless me because what do your sins do? They block your blessings. So
Yeah.
when you're asking for forgiveness, He's going to bless you. Because on the other side, when you're sinning, you're blocking your blessings. So on the other side, if you've stopped it and you ask forgiveness, you're going to get blessings.
Bro, see those
I'm not saying
approaches.
I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
saying I'm perfect, but I
go
don't
on,
want
bro.
to come on you like a sheikh or anything like that. I don't know, bro. I can't explain it. I just see things differently, a lot very differently.
Bro,
I do
that's
stuff like every other person who's make mistakes, but I bounce back up.
Bro, that's fine. I mean, see, back to what you just saying about seeking forgiveness. Is that, would you say, an overnight thing, or does that also require work? You got to keep on asking, and sometimes not even expect results, but your aim is just to be consistent. Does it look something like that, or is it just I'll ask and then Allah will answer? Um,
I think
how did
I
that
think
work for
it's
you,
when
bro?
you I think like it's consistency. You're not gonna see it straight away because Allah is gonna test you. Like I said, when I started praying, everything started going
Yeah,
downhill. And Allah even says in the Quran, do you think you're going to be able to say you believe and I'm not going to test you? So of course He's going to test you. He's going to test you with that fear, with hunger, with loss of life. And then He's going to eventually, or His will, but He's going to unravel the things that you need to see in your life and the way you need to see life. So for me, I had to be consistent. I had to make intention. You have to make intention because when you make intention, then Allah makes it easy for you. I think
yeah,
that's what it was for me when I made the intention on Dhul Hijjah to learn more of his names.
yeah,
He just made it easier for me to kind of get myself attached to his names. Otherwise, it's not me, bro. I can't get attached to anything. He's guiding me. He guides us. We think we're praying or we're reading Quran or we're doing the good deeds. He's guided you to that. He's doing that for you before you even thought about it. He wanted you to do it, so he's actually blessing you through that. We own nothing. It's all him, bro. Even that forgiveness, he's guided you to that forgiveness. He loves you and he guided you to do that. You don't own that forgiveness. I don't own it. Allah's guided my heart to make that forgiveness. And he's going to give me more on top of that. Look at that blessing, bro. Subhanallah.
Bro, can I ask something? Have you gone through therapy, or did you find that just getting back on your dean uh, was the most effective way to go about things?
I mean, I went through therapy as in when I was in my marriage, and then my marriage broke down. I did go through it, but I think therapy is something that a lot of people go to therapy
Yeah,
thinking, oh, tell me what the other person did wrong. You're only gonna Therapy is only gonna work when you're thinking what have I done wrong, and not how I feel, but how I need to be. That's when therapy is gonna work. It's only gonna work when you think how do I need to change, not the other person. That's why therapy doesn't work for a lot of people because they just want to look at the other person's faults, and they do push that in therapy. Your parent is a narcissist, your wife is a narcissist, your husband is a
yeah,
narcissist. They never tell you about where have you gone wrong. And I think when I spoke to my counselors, I was always thinking about maybe I've done this wrong, maybe I've done this wrong. And even they were shocked at me, like, you come across very different. One of them said to me in the last session, you've taught me more than I expected. I thought I was going to teach you. You've actually taught me. She started crying at the end of the
yeah,
session.
yeah.
The last session, she says that
Wow.
you taught me so much.
Yeah, bro,
I
that's
was teaching
interesting.
her, bro.
That's really interesting because yeah, we think by going to therapy it's gonna fix our partner. Our partner is the issue, and like it gets nowhere like that. You see what I'm saying, bro? That's you've always brought it back to centering yourself over and over again. This is what I got from you from the conversation that we're having up until this point. Um, Bro, I'm gonna sidetrack because I need to ask you this question before I forget. When you was talking about your son, seeing him, and then you was talking about your foundation that you got from your dad. What foundation would you like to give your son if you could have more of an opportunity, more of a chance? That's one. And then the second thing is, what kind of foundation would you want to give your son from the situation that you're in now? So one is wishful thinking, and the other one is okay. I'm going to work with the situation, and this is what I want to do for my son.
I think this the best thing I could teach him is what my dad told me, that fall in love with Allah, get to know Allah. That's
Okay.
probably the best thing I could ever teach him. Like, even when I'm with him,
Yeah.
I just try to say Allah, La ilaha illallah. He doesn't respond,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to get that into his subconscious from young. I'm sure his mom does
Yeah.
the same too, but
Yeah.
when you get that into them, and because the devil is going to try to get you kids from young, and he's already trying
Yeah.
that. So as parents, we need to do the opposite. We need to get Allah into their lives from young, because
Yeah.
when they're older, they're going to have that identity crisis otherwise. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, what is my faith, this and that. But when they're younger, you get it to them when they're younger, inshallah, it will grow. And I think that's as simple as it is, bro. Just teach him about Allah. If I can teach him about Allah and to love Allah, then literally he's set for life because he's got everything he needs there. Even me,
And it
bro.
was
I'm not. I'm just fulfilling my responsibility. Everything any benefit Allah's given me that. So even if I'm not here, I want him to rely on Allah because He's always going to be there. I might not be here tomorrow. I want to make him that mentally strong that he knows that even if my father's not here or I'm going through a certain situation, all I have to do is turn to my Rabb. First, my Rabb, and if my dad's there, speak to my dad or speak to my mom. That's the key for me. That your Rob is always there. Just turn to him. And when you think about it like that, bro, when you know that your Rob is there, what have you got to worry about? You've got the best bodyguard, you got the best protector, you got the best friend, you got the best companion. Why would you ever, you know what I mean? Why would you ever feel down?
bro. Would that also depend on what kind of dhikr, remembrance? What's that word that they use? Dhikr, but what's that word that they keep on saying it's an English word. I can't even remember what it is. Triggers or well, okay, so you would need to do some kind of because this is how it sounds like. So would that depend on the type of dhikr that you're doing? Dhikr meaning I'm engrossed into my negative thoughts. That's a form of dhikr. That's a form of remembrance. Or the positive way of looking at things is the dhikr of Allah, isn't it? So it would depend on where my
Yeah.
attention is focusing on, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, if you, Allah
Yeah.
says, if you're grateful, I will give you more. So,
Yeah.
but what society is doing is that it's pushing us towards negativity. This happened to me, my parents, and I like to make a disclaimer, brother. I was all of this, so I like to keep it real with people.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
bro.
like to
Of
show
course.
people the process. I like to
Yes,
keep it real
yes.
with people that I didn't just get here for one day and I'm like enlightened. No, I'm not even enlightened, bro. But I understand your struggle. So this is where you can connect with people. People have gone through struggles and you've gone through it too. They'll connect with you more. So I don't like to come on here and be like, I know all the answers. I got it straight away. I'm probably still gonna make mistakes. But for me, it's like when you're grateful more, and Allah says, if you're grateful, I will give you more. But what society is doing, your parents negative, your everything's negative. So when you're negative, you're not going to see anything positive for you. So how are you going to get more blessings? If you can't see it, how are you going to be grateful? But what Islam does, it pushes us towards gratitude. Even in psychology, all these people that talk about this, they say gratitude, it changes your life. Yeah, Islam told us this 1400 years ago.
Bro,
You're
what
rewiring your brain.
what is gratitude? Is that like me doing lip service, or for you,
No,
um, when you're talking about gratitude, so what's the thought process like? What is the reality like?
for
Is it just dhikr,
for,
that's counting blessings, or like
for
what is
me,
it like?
gratitude is like, say for example, I've got my wage
Yeah,
at the end of the month. I'm not trying to show my good deeds here. Allah knows my
yeah, yeah,
intention.
of course, bro.
But I've got my wage at the end of the month. I want to go buy my dad something. I'm grateful to you that you've given me, my dad's still alive. I'm gonna buy him something. I'm gonna buy my mom
Ah,
something. I'm gonna go charity. I'm using your
yeah, yeah.
blessings to give back to your creation. I'm not keeping it all for myself.
Ah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
grateful
yeah, yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
giving it back to your creation. And I'm trusting in the fact that you're going to give it back to me. That's gratitude for me. Using what you have as a tool, like your podcast, to help
Yeah.
His creation, to uplift His creation. That's how you show gratitude. And also with your prayer and other things, where you're actually doing what He wants you to do, but also helping His creation. It's not just about you. I'm here right now, doing what I'm doing because I want to help His creation. You're doing something which is going to benefit His creation. You're not just looking at it as in the people. You're looking at it as that's His creation. And because you love Him and you're grateful towards Him, you're going to do something for His creation.
Bro, that is powerful. I mean, there was a reason why that I asked you for that, for what that looks like. You've actually put gratitude in practice from lip service. It's like in the world of personal development, it's like that you be grateful. Do you know when people talk about okay, you got to be grateful, they don't actually define it. They just say, yeah, you got to be grateful. Think of all the things that you should be grateful for. Okay, let's put that aside. And how do we turn that into reality where it's lived and it's felt and it's transformational? And what you just said there ticked all of those things. It's okay. I've got these blessings that I've been given with. How am I going to use all of these things that Allah has given me to good use? And that is how gratitude
Yes.
manifests. That's amazing, bro. That actually
Hmm.
beats me. I would rather do that than just sit there and count, because there's no feeling when I'm counting sometimes, bro. I'm just like sitting there meditating. There's no
Hmm.
connection. There's no, but that the way that how you've explained it, that's powerful. That's meaningful, because it's like I'm going out there, I'm doing the effort, and I'm putting it to use. I'm actually like, so I'm not just sitting there, and this is not to just diminish.
I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and this what I'm saying is I'm not trying to diminish sitting there and I'm doing reflective thinking, because there's a time and a place for that. But that sounds practical, bro. And you know what you've just said there. Do you think that can also help a lot of brothers that are going through depression, anxiety, and just stuck? Because when you feel like as if that you're at servitude to the creation, that you want to feel as if that you're contributing back, that can also help deal with your own problems.
100%. I'm sure there's a study where you feel better when you're actually helping other people. There's something that goes on inside your body where you feel better.
Yeah,
And it's not just sometimes even in the good moments, you also need to do it in the hard moments. When I think I see a lot nowadays is when kids disrespect their parents.
yeah,
But
yeah,
Allah says in the Quran that you lower your wings to them. Nowadays, that's very hard because obviously the way people think about their
Yeah, yeah,
parents.
yeah,
But when you lower your wings to your parents, you're actually showing
yeah.
gratitude to Allah, even in that difficult moment. That I'm grateful you've given me these blessings. So in this difficult moment, I'm gonna lower my wings to my parents for you because I'm grateful. So it's not just the same blessing; it's a different blessing with for a different outcome. If that makes sense. So I'm
Bro,
grateful that, for example, right now,
yeah,
I've done this podcast. I'm grateful for it. I'm gonna
yeah,
go home. Maybe my mom has a go at me. I'm gonna lower my wings. Allah, I'm
yeah,
grateful for that podcast. And you told me to lower my wings to my mom. I'm gonna lower my wings. I'm not saying anything. That's me
yeah.
showing gratitude.
Bro, see what you've just said. I also think, in addition to what you've said, that's very, very important. I also think that times have changed. I think that, do you think the same applies for the children? I mean, in terms of the parents lowering their wings of humility to their children when they're doing wrong, when they're being rebellious, when they're just doing certain things that upset you. Does it have the same kind of approach? Would you say, in your opinion?
I mean,
Let's say
I don't think so
the script has been flipped. Yeah, go on, bro.
because there's many stories in the Quran. Like for example, when Ibrahim alayhi Islam's father, when he said, "I'm going to kill you," to Ibrahim, how did
Yeah,
Ibrahim respond? My beloved father. Yes, I get where you're coming from. If it was that important, Allah would have mentioned it in the Quran. If it's in the Quran, it's a command from Allah. And when you follow His command, He's gonna bless you in this life and more importantly in the next life. Because parents doing that to their children is not. It's not like it's not a struggle. They
yeah.
could, but you doing it to your parents is a struggle. It's difficult, and what's difficult, He will elevate you more. But I
Ah,
get what you're
okay.
saying, as
Yeah,
parents could do that, but the Prophet did say there's going to come a time
yeah,
that, I'm paraphrasing, that the master will obey the slave or something like that, and that's
yeah, yeah,
the parents obeying the child.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah. I get that one.
paraphrasing
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So it's not about what your parents do, it's you following his command and submitting to his command, that regardless of what your parents have done, whether they've done wrong or whatever, you
yeah,
lower your wings to them. You speak to them and you disagree with them, but you lower your wings. Not because maybe they've done the right thing or whatever, but because Allah wants you to do it. It's a command.
bro. That's interesting because how do you, in this, I mean, especially in this time and era, teach that to our youth? Because it's flipped, bro. The like, um, that's what we're meant to do. But at this time and age where there's total disrespect for the parents, it's all over the place, bro. Like, you see what I'm
But it
saying?
also
Like,
comes back to the parents. It also comes
okay,
back to the parents. Where, what are you
okay,
teaching your child? You can't always
ah,
blame the school system or the masjid. What are you
yeah,
teaching
yeah,
your child? Have you given them that foundation? So don't be surprised when they come home disrespecting you because you haven't given them the deen. You've given them the
yeah,
schools. You've given them that system. So, but you can't blame them. You gotta look at yourself. What have I done? Have I given you the Quran in your life? Have I given you the deen in your life?
yeah, yeah,
And if you haven't given them, you can't really blame them. But obviously, they're accountable for their actions. The parents are accountable for theirs. But what Allah has told you to do, you have to do that. But we've got this thing now where I feel a certain way. But in
yeah,
Islam, when your feelings go one way and Allah says another thing, you have to kind of fight your feelings and do
yes,
what He
yeah,
says to the best of your ability. And it's tough. It's hard. It's hard. Lowering your wings to your parents is not easy, especially nowadays. And obviously, with our Asian parents and the way they've come from and all that, it's not easy. But the harder the test, bro, the more the elevation.
absolutely, bro. You know, bro, what do you think that us men face in modern day challenges now? Like in terms of like what you just said, the court system, the family dynamics, the co-parenting. What could you advise brothers to do to navigate this test, this challenge? What's worked for you personally, bro?
I mean, it's come in steps, but When I
Yeah.
first started it, I was always questioning why this happened,
Yeah.
how long is this going to go on for? I don't understand it. And then I came across a verse in the Quran where it's the story of Khidr and Musa, and he's asking questions the whole time to Khidr, and Khidr says, "Don't ask me questions." And in that same passage, it's like Allah's asking us a question. He says, "How can you how can you have patience with that which you do not understand?" So I was going
Yeah.
through that. And I did not have Scooby Doo, but I could not understand it at all. So I was looking at the question. I don't understand it. How am I going to have patience with this? Okay, it's about trusting. It took a while to get to me. It's about
Yeah. Yeah.
trusting. He's not gonna give you every, especially as a believer. We have to understand. As a believer, we're gonna be tested. Test. Constant tests. Because this is the dunya. This is not Jannah. We don't relax here. We don't
No.
relax
No.
here. We
No.
relax in the next life.
Yeah.
The non-believers, they can relax and they chill, and sometimes even the believers that have done wrong, Allah gives them rope. He gives them rope. You carry on. You do what you want to do. One day, if He has mercy upon them, He's going to pull that rope. And again, that's His mercy, because I'm going to punish you here so you can have your Jannah there. But one day He's definitely going to pull that rope. So if you're going to test, you're actually in blessing. So the way I saw it is that I'm exhausted, I'm fatigued, I'm going through this, I'm going to not see my child. I saw it as in Allah just wants me to come close to Him. Allah wants me to be like, because I was very attached. I was a very person who got very attached, whether it was to my ex-wife or whether it was to anybody. When I love like, I'm going to give you everything. And it
Yeah.
got to a point where I was kind of forgetting Allah. I was putting them before Allah, I'll be honest, because
Right.
I got
I got
so
you.
deep into it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you look at it as in Allah saying that I've taken everyone away from you, so it's just you and me. So don't look at it as a negative. It's like you're speaking and you're reaching out to the one who hears you, who loves you, who cares for you, and who wants the best for you.
Yeah.
You're reaching out to him, and that's kind of what helped me. And also knowing in the quote that every mile I travel, every penny I spend,
Yeah.
every second I lose, if I'm innocent and my intention is sincere, Allah will give me that 100 times fold. You don't lose anything as a believer. If you're innocent and you're a believer and you've lost contact with your child and you're doing all
Yeah.
these maintenance and you're doing all these court fees, and Allah will replace all of that with something much better. You have to believe that you're not gonna lose. When you got Allah, you can't lose. You may look in the moment that I've got nothing around me, I'm completely alone. But always remember your goal is in the next life in Jannah. And when you have that in the back of your mind, you're not you can't lose. You can't lose. You can't lose.
So it's
As a believer,
so,
you cannot lose.
bro. So it comes across like because there's a grounding, there's a center that you've spoken about throughout this podcast is to stay grounded in faith, um, that and
100%.
reconnect yourself. That is the only way. Is there also other things that a person can do to help strengthen them? So I'll give you an example. Many brothers that I've spoken to, they've also said exercising helps them. They've said in the past,
Jim,
faith and exercise helps them. Because what you're talking about is the spiritual and emotional well-being, but there's also the physical aspect of it as well. What's your understanding on that, bro?
Jim, one of the best decisions I
Yeah,
made, bro.
yeah,
I don't know how he helped me, but it's definitely I'm consistent with my gym. It's helped me with my diet, with my discipline. I'm looking at the ingredients on the back of the
yeah,
snacks and everything,
yeah,
all of that. 100% gym, God and gym. If you've got these two things in your life, you'll be okay. If your parents are alive, you got your parents' du'as, then that's a bonus.
yeah.
But the
Wow.
God and gym. I think that there's a video I saw that when you tense your muscles or you do that with your muscles, something secretes from your bones, which heals your body and it helps you with depression. It's something inside you
Wow.
that when you do that with
Yeah,
your muscles, with the weights, I'll send you
yeah,
the video.
yeah,
It takes. something in your body, and it just heals you. And it reminds me of a verse that, which of the favors of your Lord will you deny?
They
When you
deny.
look
Yeah, yeah,
inside yourself, you're actually healing. Your Allah's giving you something that will heal you. You know what I mean? And another one, that if you count Allah's blessings, you won't be able to. You can't count them,
you
because
can't.
you'll
Yeah,
find one pop up after another. You'll see one after the other. You'll get more and more and more. It's like even with the Quranic verses. The more you read them,
yeah,
another thing will come up. Another thing will come up.
yeah,
And one of the things that helped me, I don't know, I wasn't reading the verse, but I was just deep in it, and I thought the stuff I've gone through in the past, yeah,
yeah,
Allah was with me the whole time. So
yeah,
I know that people say that forget your past, but
yeah,
sometimes you need to remember your past to remember that Allah was with you the whole time.
yeah,
So if He was with you in the past, why is He gonna let you go now? If He was with you there, why is He gonna let you go now? Unless you move away from Him yourself. But you have to remember your past to remember He was there. So remind yourself of your past. He was always there with you. And these are the things that helped me. I reminded myself that I got through that moment, them difficult times. This is another difficult time. But who pulled me through? Allah pulled me through. So who is going to pull me through now? He's still there. He's ever living. He's going to pull me through again. Don't depend
bro.
on people or other things like they're going to pull me out. He's going to pull you out.
You know, bro, I want to ask you two questions before we go. One would be a message to the people that have tuned in, or that will be tuning in. Sorry, your final message, and also one profound thing, one message that you want to give to your son, because like what you said, you don't know at what point that you could pass away. If there's a message that you would want your son to hear, um, you can say that as well, bro. Just put it out there, because maybe the message to your son can also be related to other fathers who are going through similar things. Do you know what I mean, bro? So, a message to the people and a message that you would like to give your son. So, this is like a future message that you're giving your son if ever he were to come by and not see you, for God knows what may happen in the future. We don't know. So, yeah, bro. Message to the people, bro.
Message to the people. I got
Yeah,
so many ways I can go about it, but the
yeah,
whole podcast has been um, just stay grounded in your faith. When you have your faith with you, even if you're on a rocky road, but you remember your purpose, that my purpose is to worship Him, you'll be okay. Because you're not going to be turning left and right. I need to do this. I need to do this.
yeah,
God has told you your purpose. That's your purpose. You stick on your purpose, and you'll be okay. And a lot of things that when you do in your life, you're not going to see the results straight away. Well, God is not looking at the result, He's looking at your effort. So if something's not coming your way, the job interview, the marriage, keep pushing, keep working. God is looking at your effort. And then the next thing I'll say to the people is that try to help people as much as you can, because you need to leave something behind. Not so people remember you, but so you can say and you can go to sleep at night, because a lot of people go through this depression because they've got no meaning in life.
yeah,
Every day ask yourself, my dad said this to me, what can I give? Every day ask yourself. So when you go home at night, you're thinking, I've done this today. You'll sleep like a baby. You'll sleep in peace because you feel good about yourself and you feel that you've actually helped the world. So every day, try to impact someone, try to teach someone something, and try to leave something behind. Because, like the brother said, you might not be here tomorrow, but your
yeah.
impact will remain, and that will be your sadaqah jariyah. And when you're going through, I know there's quite a few, bro, but
No,
when
no,
you're
go for
going
it,
through
bro.
a struggle,
Go for it.
when you're going through a struggle, remember this will help me a lot. Yusuf alayhi Islam story, that Allah will sometimes place you in a situation that you don't understand, you don't deserve to be, but at the end He's going to elevate you. But also in that situation, you're going to help so many people in that situation that Allah is going to make that your sadaqah jariyah. So even in your grave, them people are going to be getting ease, but you're going to be getting blessings in your grave. So don't look at your test as in like, why me? Look at it as in Allah's chosen me. That's a blessing. If a manager of a high company chooses you, you're gonna be like, first you might think, why is he chosen me? I'm not capable to do it. because he's a human being. But Allah is the all knowing. He knows, He doesn't make mistakes. He's chosen you. You are not a mistake. When He wakes you up every single morning, you are not a mistake. When you want to take yourself out, you remember that He does not make mistakes, and yet He's woken you up in the morning. So get out there and do something and do the best you can in your life, because He's woken you up, because you're needed and you're important. So don't hold your importance to what people say about you or what people think about you. He's waking you up every single morning because He sees something special in you. And when He sees something special in you, that means you are special. And that's my message to the people. So
Amazing. Absolutely profound, bro. Absolutely profound. Um, a final message to your son, bro. If you were to give your son a message, what would that be, bro?
message to my son, his name's Heather,
Yeah.
by the way. Message to him would be that even if I'm not around, remember that your parents are your doors to Jannah. So even in your mother, when she's angry at you, if she's upset at you, you always lower your wings. Because when you lower your wings to your parents, Allah will open the doors of mercy for you. Me and your mom are your two doors of Jannah. If we are happy with you, don't worry about anybody else. Don't let anybody bring you down. Don't let anybody say you're this and you're that. If you got your backing of your parents, like I've got the backing of my parents now, nobody can say anything to you. So I want you to stay connected to that. There's gonna be times where she says something or I say something, but most importantly her, because she's your mother. Whatever she says, you have to respect her. You always have to be there for her. Always lower your wings to her, because it's not about what she does or what she made mistake. It's about what Allah is gonna question you. So you always respect that woman. Always love that woman and always be there for her, because Allah will give you in return. And same as I said to people, go out there and be something, be a difference, make an impact, leave something, build your palm trees, build your good deeds in Jannah, and build as much as you can. When you go through a struggle, hopefully I'll have these seeds planted for you. But remember, Allah is always there for you. You're always in my du'as. That's an honor for me that Allah has made me a father. I think a lot of fathers forget the blessing that they have is that you can raise your hands for your child, and Allah will answer that prayer, just that on its
Yeah.
own. And my hands are raised for you all the time. So you're always going to be protected. Don't worry about anything. Don't stress. As long as you got Him in your mind and be mindful of Him, and you'll be okay.